Are you bored of the usual character archetypes?
Do you feel like you see the same characters over and over again?
Is there not enough chaotic energy in your podcasts?
Well, have we got the solution for you?
Hi, I'm Harper.
And I'm Darby.
Chaotic Creations is a podcast where we take the weirdest character prompts we can think of and make playable Dungeons & Dragons characters.
There's bad jokes.
I wonder what Minotaur sounds like.
When they're really, having a heartfelt speech is really moving. Backstories. I am an eagle kenku.
She probably just says eagle. And people are like, not quite.
And of course, plenty of chaos.
I don't consider mayonnaise to be a liquid, but I also don't really consider it to be food.
Maybe he squishes his pecs together with like a little symbol in between. Goes.
We upload new episodes every Wednesday, and you can hear the two of us
And some guests.
make some truly strange D&D characters.
Find us on your local podcatcher of choice, and check us out on Twitter @ChaoticPod.
I'm Harper, your lawful nerdy paladin,
And I'm Darby, your chaotic tired bard.
and we hope you'll join us on Chaotic Creations.
You know things, I know some too. Sit right down, the femsplain them to you. If there's a thing you want to explain, these two feminists can entertain. Nerdy stuff, sexy stuff, so much to know. Tune in for the Femsplain Show.
Femsplain!
I'm excited.
I am too.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to be excited because I am having like a lot of anxiety lately and a lot of social anxiety. And I was just like, ooh, it's going to be weird. And then I don't know. Now I feel all spicy.
Oh, good. I always can tell that it's going to be a good episode when you're ribbing me before.
Nice.
then I know that we got that good mood juice.
Good mood juice.
Good mood
Femsplain
juice.
Podcast brought to you by
Good mood juice.
Good Mood Juice.
Incorporated. So I spent all day yesterday outside in the grass.
Oh, so you're just fucking pumped with Good Mood Juice.
I know. I have vitamin D for the first time, and it's like wild, the difference.
I've been getting some of that lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel great about it. And I have been like letting Sam get her zoomies out in that yard.
I'm shocked that she has zoomies.
She does now that she's been on her new medication for a while. She gets a little bit of zoomies, not very long.
No, but that's good.
But
It's
little
good.
tiny zoomies.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of her. So medication is working. It's great. Welcome to Femsplained. This is just a private phone call between Avalon and Diana that we allow you to listen to.
I saw a tweet the other day that was like, please recommend podcasts to me, but I don't like ones that are just conversations. I was like, you know what? Not going to recommend ours.
Nope. We have to
I don't
know
feel weird about that.
where we're wanted. We have to know where we're
And that
wanted.
is not, yeah. Welcome to this conversation.
So what was the last episode?
It was a
Redwall.
homework episode. Oh, and Redwall. I don't know what the fuck.
The homework episode is up right now, but it is Patreon only, which you can be a part of.
If you're haunted enough.
Haunt us on Patreon. And you can listen to that there. But the last episode that's live now is the Redwall episode. Before we jump into a new topic though, nerd culture doing anything for you lately?
I'm going to have to cherry pick this week because I think that I have a lot of answers for this.
That's fantastic.
None of them are like great, but just, technically I have a lot of answers for this.
I'm already really excited.
I got the Vox Machina Origins comics for Mother's Day, so like been getting to read that. I haven't made it that far though, and not that it's like spoilers, but
right. You've seen it, but still, it is fun to see it in a new format.
I watch Mortal Kombat, which I feel like there's just nothing to say. I feel just like it's the most meh.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but my expectation of that is that it should just be action.
Yeah, not really.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I was like, oh, maybe it's
That's the
mad 'cause
problem,
it's
I
just an
think.
action
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, there's not as much action as there definitely could have been, in my opinion. And I watched Jupiter's Legacy on Netflix, which is the #1 trending series on Netflix right now. And I have not heard nary a whisper of it anywhere.
Nothing.
I don't know
I haven't
anyone
heard
watching
anything.
it. I've never heard of it.
I've never heard of it. No.
So I think Netflix is lying about it being the most watched streamed thing right now.
Is it good? Okay.
I enjoy it. I enjoy it.
Okay.
It is. I enjoy it. It to me feels like X-Men meets like the Watchmen film. Like to me, it has kind of like it's a comic booky thing, but reimagining superpowers in sort of a real world, and then it's got just like a little sprinkle of Lovecraft.
Oh.
So, like, to me, it's fun. I like superheroes. If you like superheroes, it's fun.
Wait, hold on. We turned on an episode of a show that Netflix suggested to us yesterday, and then we had to turn it off because it made us so mad. Is this the one with the really weird Christian dad superhero?
Yeah.
We had to shut it off. We got
I know.
so angry.
I don't know what to tell you. You're the second person I've heard who has not made it past the first episode.
Oh, I'm so curious. It's called Jupiter's Rising?
I think it's called Jupiter's Legacy. I believe
Jupiter's
Jupiter Rising and Jupiter Ascending are two other things that already exist. And so I can never remember the name.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think I can recommend it because no one else likes it. But I thought it was fun. I just like seeing superpowers happening.
Yeah. I do. I like the superpowers thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that part made me too mad.
Honestly,
what's happening here?
No, I don't think anyone likes it. That's why I'm not saying it's good. But I will say
Fair.
I'll watch season 2 when it comes out promptly.
Okay, great,
So
good,
that's nerd culture.
fantastic. For me, I'm very excited because Mass Effect, remastered came out.
Oh shit, have you started?
I started it on Friday night. I'm gonna play again later. I have never played the Mass Effect series, and it's been like a chip on my Twitch chat's shoulder because I am so obsessed with Dragon Age, and they've been begging.
But like, just because it's the same company.
It's not just because it's the same company, because they do other games, but it's that this is their only other series that's got like that's a story-based RPG that has romance options, that has it does have like specific similarities. It's to Dragon Age and how it was done. That I'm beginning to see. And I think it's interesting because the first game, I don't know what the other three are like. But the first game is a first person shooter, and I don't play those, but I'm very happy that the casual mode is genuinely a very casual mode. Which I did not like about The Witcher 3. The casual mode is not a casual mode, and it's a lie. It's a lie.
I have tried 3 times to get past learning to fight in that game.
No!
My brain can't map that many different buttons.
That's
why I don't do
absurd.
like melee games.
Yeah.
Because I can't do combos. I can't keep track of it.
And people keep telling me that the story is so good, and I'm like, well, if I could
The
find
story
out.
is just fucking some very hard fake looking tits. Colon the game. I just feel like the story is that there's a lot of fucking cutscenes with like really like dumbly drawn boobs.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. People keep telling me otherwise, but regardless, I'll never know because the combat's unbearable and casual mode's a lie.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy that if Mass Effect had to be a first-person shooter, it gives me a real, true casual mode that I can actually stand to get through. I'm really enjoying the characters so far. I'm enjoying how the story's being told so far. I'm still very new in the first game, but I am loving it. I'm actually really excited. I can tell that I like it because I never go over stream time, like, ever.
Oh.
I cut off at 3 hours. I played for 4 hours before I realized that I had gone over.
Oh, cool. And you don't mind that it's outer space?
No, I mean, do I prefer fantasy? Yes,
Yeah.
but this is very much a fantasy sci-fi. You know, there's like
All right.
there's like space magic and fantasy races and stuff like that. So it's not, you know, it has that sci-fi fantasy.
Space magic
mesh.
is really just the best of all worlds.
It is, yeah.
But you know what I
prefer
would not want? I would not want space in my fantasy.
Whoa. Yeah, I know that I'm having an absurd reaction to that, but like I'm reacting to that as if I had smoked my entire face off, but I did not, I assure you. I don't know why that hit me so hard. It did. Yeah, okay. Wow, no, I agree. Is the point.
Cool.
Of that.
Thank you. That was like really validating. It made me feel like I said something super smart. But I did not.
It's just I've never considered the opposite. I don't even know what that would look like, but I want it.
Cram an alien into Game of Thrones. I don't want it.
Oh my god, I hate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate the whole concept of that.
Yeah, but put some magic in space elves.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I do love that. Well, fantastic. So Mass Effect is one great thing that nerd culture's done for me lately. I do want to say that I got to like do a little meshing of like two parts of my life recently, and I'm only remembering this because I happen to be wearing the shirt right now. But I did the Game On to End Lupus, which I never did before.
Weird.
I don't know why. I guess I just didn't really realize there was like a gaming crossover that was so big. It turns out there's like a big Lupus like streamer community. And I got to connect with some of them. Got to find out that some people that I already am connected with in the D&D and tabletop RPG verse are also people with lupus. So I got to connect with a couple of people there. And we did a fundraiser that was absolutely spectacular. We played two really silly games, Roll for Shoes, and we played Lasers and Feelings.
Thank you.
Yes. And I got to play with almost all of the people I played with were people I haven't played with before, including Marty, who joined for Lasers and Feelings, which was great. It was
That's
awesome.
cute.
And so after that, we haven't started it yet, but we just signed up for an improv class together.
That's so cute.
So that we could have more improv-y fun.
That's very
because we had
sweet.
such a great time. So I feel like my cup filleth.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you. So.
Oh, and Pokemon Snap.
Oh yeah, Pokemon Snap. Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of that.
I haven't, but I'm watching people play it, and it's very relaxing to watch.
It is really relaxing. It's a good like bring your Switch over and lay in bed game. Yeah.
I want to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So yeah, all right. I want to talk about my topic. So let's get a man in here.
Damn.
To I know I'm really excited to chat about it. Let's get a man in here to mansplain it first.
In a mansplain minute. Ooh, everything's explained. In a mansplain minute. Ooh, tell the ladies what to say. In a mansplain minute.
Putting 1 minute on the man watch and go. Black Sails. Yes, the pirate show from 2014 that appeared on Starz, a channel you probably only have access to if you forgot to cancel your free trial on Amazon Prime. I was puzzled when I was informed that this is what I would need to mansplain. There's not much to mansplain. It's a 4-season show about pirates. It came out at a time where high-budget historical epics were in vogue in television, and apparently Diana really liked it. You know what I think this is really about? Black Sails is technically a prequel to Treasure Island, the novel by Robert Louis Stevenson. And I have a feeling that this is just a backdoor way of Diana and Avalon talking about Muppet Treasure Island, which in turn gives them a chance to completely change topics to casting a fictional Muppet movie or recasting a Muppet movie they think is fictional that actually existed. Either way, I think we're getting Muppets. And that's your Mansplain Minute.
So, I don't know if I've talked about this on here at all. I think maybe I must have talked about it in a nerd culture or something or other or whatever, but we've never done an episode about it. But it's Black Sails is what I want to talk about.
I don't think we've ever talked about it. You and I have talked about it.
Right.
But I don't think it's come up on the podcast. Oh, okay. I love this.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Great idea.
Absolutely stunning. So somebody on Twitter reminded me and asked me why we haven't done an episode about it. And I was like, oh, I have no idea why I've never done an episode about this.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen it, Black Sails is a show. It's no longer on. It is a prequel to Treasure Island, that story.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And a mixture of like some historical fiction. So there are some figures and happenings that are based in real history, and some that is obviously very fabricated. It is pirates. It is awesome. And the reason that I want to talk about it, I think the most, is that I can't think, you know, you're very familiar, I'm sure, with television shows engaging in queer baiting.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I don't know that I am that familiar with it.
Okay.
Sometimes I don't realize it until it's pointed out to me.
Gotcha. Well, all right. So if we were to describe queer baiting as a show hinting at or flirting with the idea of two characters of the same gender being in a relationship or having feelings for each other, and then either kind of never revealing that or never leaning into it, or leaning into it immediately before killing one of those characters
okay.
and never actually allowing it to be on TV. I think that media knows that the gays have so little that they will flock to any show that has any crumbs of
that might be my problem, is that I might just be satisfied with crumbs.
Yeah.
And then
I think
once
fair.
it's headcanon for me, it's just real.
It's
so
real.
if it never is shown, then it's fine because I know that it happened.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. I can absolutely relate to that. Well, this show is the only example that I can think of straight baiting. And it's done absolutely brilliantly because you have this show. So Black Sails is the story of Captain Flint and Long John Silver primarily, and their interaction with the treasure that is the main point of contention in Treasure Island, which is this big cache of Urca gold that in Treasure Island had been hidden by Captain Flint before he died. And Long John Silver is the only person who knows the location of the Urca gold. And Black Sails is the story of how we get there, why Long John Silver knows this, why it was hidden, and gives some backstory as to why Captain Flint is gone. And Captain Flint's character is this angry, like violent mask guy. He's kind of like, he's such a badass pirate. And he has this like, he's got a like really fierce intensity as a character throughout the entire show. when we meet him, he's definitely not presented to us as a bad guy by any means, but definitely more of like an anti-hero. He's a very like aggressive person, and he'll take aggressive action to get like what his goal is. And what that is, we're not really sure. And some things, like we see him have this relationship with this woman, that is a little bit odd. We see them, I think, in one scene, having a intimate relationship together, but it doesn't seem very loving. But their relationship outside of that bedroom seems very loving and caring. Like they seem to be very deeply connected. And she's very clearly presented as a very important person to him. And 2.5 seasons of this show go by before they reveal that their relationship was a beard. Like, and that her former husband, who was taken away, essentially, and him, Captain Flint, were in love. And yeah. So so they have this very special relationship and do have like a deep love for each other, but are basically keeping up appearances to ensure that what happened to her former husband does not happen to him now, because he was taken away by the government.
He was taken away by the government because of the homosexuality.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So what we, for 2 years, understand that this is a pirate who we learn about the fact that he used to be a part of the actual Royal Navy, that he was not like someone who was like all the other pirates we meet throughout the show are people who were born on this island that was basically abandoned by the government and took it upon themselves to like find any means necessary to make life happen, right? So that's why they take to the seas and rob naval ships. He's different. He came from like a wealthy status, came from the British Navy, and this event, the government taking away the man that he loves, is what turns him into a man with a vengeance against that government. So he has this, like, all of a sudden it puts into place all of these things. Like, he at times, to get revenge against a British ship, will put like pirate lives in danger and like put the island in danger and things like that. And it kind of puts into place that his revenge plot is above anything else.
Sure.
And it's an incredible reveal of a moment, and shook up the show. There had been other queer people involved in the show. There's another queer relationship, like from the get-go, with Anne Bonny and who is one of the like historical figures that's represented there. And in her plot, like, which is revealed very early on, there's no real reveal. It's kind of like she's coming out live on the show. Like, she's married to a man at the beginning, and then meets this woman who is a sex worker in a brothel, and has sort of like an encounter with her, and that develops into something more. And then she like literally comes out to her husband and tells him that she can't be his wife anymore. So that one is just like a little bit more of a like transparent from the beginning. But the Flint thing is a big reveal, especially because of how like stereotypically like cis heteronormative this like manly violent pirate is, that it comes as such a kind of like shocking reveal, but more so in that it subverts what you expected of him.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say.
So awesome, incredible. I could just talk about just that all day. But also, like, it's just such a good show too. There's like such a great balance between something that I that can really put me off to a show is if the like politicking of the show, like the politics is so convoluted and complicated that like you can't follow it, like Game of Thrones sometimes.
I was gonna, the Games of Thrones of it all,
yeah. But I mean, they really do a good job at touching on the like politics of this universe, making it really clear, spending enough time on it, while also like keeping the drama high and like the stakes high and all of that. The show is also really transparently critical of like colonialism that was happening and like very critical of Britain, which is like, it's interesting because I mean, if you're going to make pirates the protagonist of your show, you have to put them into context, and this did that really well. Like it basically I don't think it sanitized them. It did also show them at times as villains, but not as a monolith, more as these are a people who had been kind of abandoned by their government, and chose to like take that into their own hands, which is an interesting concept. So yeah, it's super gay, which is awesome. It's critical of these colonialist ideas, which is also awesome, and also it's just exciting. It's very exciting, and like I don't know, there's lots of great combat. It was a Starz show, so it does have like big budget stuff too, so there's a lot of like really great fight scenes and scenes at sea and things like that.
Starz is tough because like they don't carry enough shows to warrant
a subscription.
Subscribing.
But don't worry, it's on Hulu.
Oh, great. Yeah. Okay.
And oh God, what else do I want to say about the show? So I actually am disappointed because they really, Anne Bonny, I believe in real life, did become married to a woman, I think, later in life. And at the end of this series, they introduce the person that in real life would have been her partner. Mm-hmm. And I can't tell where they were going to go with it. And I would like to have seen it, because it seems like she was either in disguise as a male pirate when she walked onto the ship or something like that. But all we get is an introduction, and then the show ends.
The show was canceled? Does it end, or was it?
It ends. It ends very, very solidly. They tile.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
good.
It's 5 seasons long, but we don't get an end to Anne Bonny's story.
Okay. But it doesn't feel like you were robbed of a conclusion. Okay.
With them, so Anne Bonny's story is one that I really like. Obviously, I don't know how much of this has anything to do with her real life.
Is she okay? So I've seen only the first episode of this show.
Okay.
Is she in the first episode?
I'm sure of it.
Is she kind of like rough?
She's rough looking with long red hair, and she looks a little squirrely. Like she's like.
Yeah, she's a little like roguish.
Yes, very much so.
Okay. Because that actress is in another show I like, and I had a hard time seeing her in this role.
Oh,
I'm sure I would have gotten used to it, but just in the first epised, yeah.
Totally, yeah. So she has this interesting like storyline in the show where she is her and her husband, Captain Jack Rackham, who is a great character. I love him. He's very like. He takes sort of like the comic relief portion of the show, but he becomes like an underdog in this world of pirates, and you like always want him to succeed, and he's never succeeding. It's great. So apparently the story goes that when they were both young, like I think when she was a teenager, and I don't know what the ages are supposed to be, but they look the same age in the show, so I'm guessing he was also a teenager. She was being accosted by some men in a bar as a young person, and he stood up for her and defended her, and they became like very close after that and grew up and got married. And in adulthood, she meets this woman and realizes that she's not for
gay.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not for her.
Yeah. But they stay partners in every other sense, as she, moves on to the wonders of being gay. I do know that in her real story, Anne Bonny is quoted to have said the most badass thing I've ever heard, which is when her and Captain Jack had finally gotten literally on the end of a rope and were about to be hung. She said to him right before they were hanged, if you'd have fought out there like a man, we wouldn't be about to hang here like dogs. And I just think it's so like, I mean, if you're gonna have the last word,
Yeah, damn.
in like a decades long relationship,
Yeah.
that's a really brutal one.
Yeah, that's some rough energy.
Yeah. But basically, so I mean, there are also a lot of great dynamic female characters here, like women as pirates, women as like politicians, women as business owners, and they're portrayed in different ways. Like you get kind of, one story is of like the brothel worker who uses like her skills as a sex worker, her interpersonal skills, manipulation and charisma and stuff, to like have control over this island from a stature that is not really recognized. And then you have this woman who's like has connections to a rich, wealthy British family who has like power from money on this island, but is kind of only allowed to keep it because she plays ball with the pirates and doesn't like restrict their movement. And then you have like, you get shown to these like wealthy British women eventually that when the camera like goes over to the mainland, and you find like these scenes with these like aristocratic women who are just manipulating their husbands into doing like the political moves that they want. And then you have actual like pirate women and stuff. So there's like a lot of these different interesting perspectives of like women in different spaces in this really weirdly chaotic how do I want to say this, like chaotically portrayed time period, that I don't even know if there's anything historically accurate about any of it, but it's definitely like a kind of fun perspective to look at. Yeah, and I don't know, it's such a fun show. It's so good.
So how big of like a main cast are we talking? Like who are the main characters?
Right. So you have there are like different groups, and they all like follow different plot lines along.
I like that.
Along the show, and then at times will intersect with each other. So you have Captain Flint's crew, which involves Billy Bones is a big part of that, who is a character that from my only real recollection of Treasure Island, which is
Yeah.
Muppet Treasure
Muppet
Island.
Treasure Island, yes.
Is the person that delivers the map.
Yes.
And
Honestly, the
and then
fact that
dies.
we've made it half an hour without talking about Muppet Treasure Island.
I know. It's hard. It's really hard for me because also like while watching this show, so Billy Bones is played by the guy who is dressed so absurdly in the Umbrella Academy that I think they need to retcon it immediately. The guy who's like big, and so he's just like got a giant like suit on and has the same normal sized human head.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's played by him. He's very like handsome and muscular or whatever, but every time he comes on screen, I have to say Billy Bones.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's been happening in my head every time you say his name.
So that's the thing. I'm glad we addressed it. So Captain Flint, Billy Bones, Long John Silver are the main part of Captain Flint's crew. There's there's a guy named Gates. I don't really know if he's part of Treasure Island. But so there's that crew. Then there's like the mainland, and we have Eleanor Guthrie. She's like the aristocratic woman who has a lot of money and like runs the island in the eyes of England. Mm-hmm. And so we have her. We have Max, who is the person running the brothel. And I would say like part of that crew is also Charles Vane, who is a pirate also, but he's I guess towards the beginning of the show he's a personal villain of Eleanor Guthrie, this rich lady. They had a relationship. He's like pure evil, and maybe not so. It's very complicated. But in the eyes of England, for sure, he's a super villain. And it's very scandalous that they had this relationship, and they have like a personal feud. And then the other group is Anne Bonny, Captain Jack Rackham, and also Max, the brothel owner. They have this triad, not only in that they're having like a kind of love triangle thing happen, but also in that they partner together to get the Urca gold for themselves. And that's how it comes into like the picture in the first place, is because of a scheme that they have to get themselves rich and get the fuck out of Dodge. Which obviously does not happen for them. Let's see. And so these like three, I guess those are like the three main groups. There are lots of other like recurring side characters, but they all come together at certain points for these big like apex moments of the show.
That seems like a big enough sort of ensemble cast to enjoy following different people, but like not so big that it gets Game of Thronesy and convoluted, like you mentioned.
Right. I mean, in every episode, there's room for each part of this, like to continue. It's very engaging. It's very intriguing, and I know I've said it before, but it's very gay. And
great. Well, I mean,
it's
you
got
led
all-
with that, and that might not be its prominent feature, but it certainly is the biggest selling point.
Yes.
For me.
Yes. And also, I mean, it just has to be mentioned that it's got a great opening song. Great opening song that introduced myself and probably many other people to the existence of the hurdy-gurdy.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you said it was good, I didn't expect you to then say there was a hurdy-gurdy.
Yeah. I've since learned that hurdy-gurdies don't often sound very good.
No.
But in this case, they do.
Oh, good.
It sounds very good. It's being used, I think, for its intended purpose.
Now, you have cosplayed this, yeah?
So kind of. I will say that I did a little bit of an Anne Bonny inspired cosplay. But what that means is that I dressed up like a pirate, wearing nothing similar to what Anne Bonny wore, but I did wear a red wig that's the same color as her hair.
Nice. I think that counts.
Yeah, but I would love to do a Captain Jack Rackham costume.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is his style unique?
His style is very unique. He's got gay pirate energy, very much so, even though he is not. But that's okay. The show has a lot of gay representation. We'll allow it. But yeah.
Okay. I watched the first episode, and I don't remember having any opinion of it, good or bad, because I had just gotten home from an international flight.
Oh God. Yeah,
and I don't know why that was when I decided to watch it, but I was just delusionally tired.
Yeah.
And I think I fell asleep somewhere in it. So I have these like flickers
the show
of it.
is good, but it's not high energy enough to watch when you're tired. It does have like a little bit.
It was a little low energy. Yeah. And I think I had every intention of revisiting it and just totally forgot that it existed.
Gosh, I can't recommend it enough, honestly.
Yeah.
Even though
we were starting to watch it because we were doing the first pirate LARP that we had done. Oh. And I think it was like inspo or costume inspo, whatever, research.
Oh my God, so much good
costume
work to pull from,
But yeah, so I should go back and revisit it.
I really would recommend it. It's so great. And I know I've given you a lot of spoilers already, but I promise there's a lot I haven't spoiled.
I think you've only spoiled a couple of people's sexuality.
Okay.
I think that's all.
Yeah.
Well, cool. So is piracy or pirating as sort of a setting something that you're drawn to? Or is it just that you really liked this particular show?
So I think it's a cool concept. Like, I think it's a little trendy to make fun of the, the big pirate movie.
Of the Caribbean.
Yeah, the Pirates of the Caribbean. But I enjoyed that.
That first movie kicked ass.
Yeah, I had
a good movie.
Delightful romp through that. However, I appreciate this for taking that setting, that kind of setting, and being a lot more, I guess, it has like all of the energy of being at being immersed in a Ren fair, but everything's real. So it has that energy, and I think I can't really think of any great like pirate setting things that I've enjoyed that aren't this. So I don't know if it's actually like a thing I normally would go for.
Do you feel like it as a component in Neverland is kind of a thing?
I do actually. I do think of pirates in Neverland. So as a concept, although in Neverland too, pirates are a little bit, they're silly.
They are silly.
It's silly and it's haha, and it's a game. And stuff.
It's silly and it's haha,
and it's haha. In the same way that kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean can be too, like those. Yeah, the pirates are a little bit silly.
It's silly and spoopy.
It's spoopy, but in this case, the silliness is not so much like laugh out loud or hijinksy. The silliness really comes from characters being intentionally funny, which is nice, but also in like the like kind of chagrined failures of all of these characters along this journey. And it's I think one thing that I really love about it is that it can be a very funny show, and it can be a very like high action show, but it takes time to indulge in genuine moments when they need to happen, which is like my big pet peeve about any kind of media talking about the fucking Marvel Cinematic Universe and its complete inability to be genuine for even one whole minute. But yeah, I really like that in particular.
I think pretty much any period drama.
Really?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Then you'll like this. I mean, the costume works awesome.
Right.
The language is great. The melding of the historical facts and the fiction, really seamless. Like, it feels like you could be, if somebody told me that this was all true, I'd believe them.
Sure.
You know, it's done that way. And I'm waiting for someone to tell me that.
Yeah,
I would hope.
If there's some kind of a Facebook image that pops up that lets you know that this is real, that's really all you need.
That's it. I need that.
Excellent. I'm excited to watch it.
Sure.
So given that it is a pirate series and given that it is on an extended cable network, where would you put it at with content warnings?
Oh, okay. Good question. So for sure, there's content warnings for all sorts of violence. You know, it does not shy away from that for sure. There's some certainly gory fight scenes. There's some gory torture scenes. There is a scene in which a man is actually keel hauled. Yeah, keel hauled.
Wow, I thought you were just mispronouncing the word killed.
No, keel hauled.
Healed. I don't know what that means.
A keel hauling was trigger warning, I'm going to describe something really violent, really horribly violent, was, I think, a real method used by pirates to get information from someone or to just kill them really violently if they had betrayed you. And this is done to a prominent pirate character. Basically, they tie you to a rope on a pulley system and drag you underneath the ship. So your body goes across the bottom of the ship and is torn apart by all of the, barnacles and things that are attached to the bottom of the ship. It's really horrible, and they do that scene, and it is extremely graphic.
That seems like a needlessly complicated way to kill someone.
It's horrific, but apparently it was something that was done.
Just the pulleys alone, it just seems like
it takes setup.
Like it would take a lot of setup.
Yeah, like somebody had to set that up. Probably took hours.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting thing. So there is a graphic scene where that is done sometime during the show. There is not depicted but referenced sexual assault.
Can I tell you that I'm shocked that it's not depicted?
Yeah, no.
For any show that's on any of those kinds of networks, I'm shocked.
Yeah. No, it is talked about, referenced, and it is fade to blacked, or not necessarily fade to blacked, but we seen transition before it happens.
Another period drama on Starz that I talked about briefly in a homework or in a What Is Nerd Culture Done For You is that Outlander show. And
I haven't seen that.
The essay is as a plot device graphic. And on screen is rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't ever love it when it's included as a plot device. I guess the only reason I'm giving this one I'm not going to say I still don't love that they included it, but it is not used for the purposes of a man to save anybody. It is used actually to further the romantic relationship between two women, or I guess as the not as the reason for their relationship, but a woman intervening is how their relationship begins.
Honestly, for upper cable channel period film or drama,
Yeah.
for it to also be pirates, I am shocked.
Yeah.
And for it to
shocking that
have,
there's-
as you've mentioned repeatedly, sex workers, none of which should mean necessarily that these things occur. But I would say that my expectations from
yes.
the
yes.
media is that those would all be like opportunities for them to insert
Yes.
any kind of violence against women, let alone sexual violence.
Yes, and I will also say, so I'm very sensitive to the trope of the expendable sex worker,
Yeah.
the sex workers that are killed like
Mm-hmm.
needlessly. And although there's violence that occurs in pretty much every setting in the show, including the brothel, there is not one like quote unquote dead hooker trope that is used in this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is definitely something that I was expecting to see
Yeah.
and didn't see.
Well,
I'm
thank
very
you.
happy.
Yeah.
So, and and I think while like violence against sex workers is a very real thing, I think that this show focuses more on the fact that they were, like the pirates, a financially disenfranchised group that found ways around their disenfranchisement.
Yes.
And I think that's the point of the show, is that all of these groups are engaging in whatever they're engaging in to survive while not, being given any tools to survive.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, love and appreciated that.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you had a magic wand, would you like one more season, or do you feel like it's clean? And you don't know if one more season is going to be bad or not. It's a real gamble.
They did such a good job of ending it. And really, as much as I think I would love not a sequel, but I would love a spin-off of just Captain Jack Rackham and Anne Bonny's career as pirates. The show ends with them going off on their own, leaving this island that they kind of built together, and going off on their own. And I think I would love to see more of that journey, especially because she's a character that we do have some knowledge about. We could really have some more of that. But the rest of the characters' storylines are really neatly wrapped up. And of course, they're so tied to the start of the next story, which is Treasure Island, that I think I would actually love a reimagining by the same showrunners of Treasure Island. Yeah,
that'd be cool.
I think that would be excellent. Yeah, I would definitely watch that, but not a direct sequel of the show. No.
So if this island and all the characters were real, and this is a fan fiction, and you get to be a self-insert, what kind of character would you be? What kind of role or job or whatever would you have?
Oh,
you can't replace any of the current characters, though.
No, and I would never. They're all perfect. but I would love to work. I would love to work in the brothel. The piracy thing on this show, as depicted on this show, much more dangerous than being a sex worker.
Sure, I'm sure.
Yeah.
In theory, being a sex worker should be the least dangerous.
Yeah.
Of all the things.
And also, I also would not want to be like involved in this, like, that rich woman and her politicking. Way too underhanded, way too like scummy and crass and whatever. And like, I just feel like the sex workers on the island had the right balance of kind of running the show, but not taking too much responsibility for the island's well-being as well.
Would you want to be like a madam or just one of the workers?
I feel like maybe when I'm older, But like, let me,
you gotta get there.
You know, do my thing for a while.
Okay.
You know, when I'm older though, for sure, I'll definitely protect the next generation of working folk. But yeah, I also like, I don't like the ocean. Not a big fan of being on water. So I think once I arrive on land, I'm staying on land. You know, and that would be it for me.
Do you have an aesthetic? Because I feel like in period films, and maybe it's just because clothes were really expensive, but I feel like sex workers usually have like each person who works there has like their color or like their thing. And I love that.
I'm going to let you on to something. The kind of outfits have changed, but strip clubs are no different.
Really?
If you are the girl who wears the string bikinis, if you are the girl who wears full length gown bikinis, no one else
You can't touch that.
can do it. And you have to learn that very quickly, is that like if especially with like certain like louder styles, like obviously there are some very generic like cheap bikinis that everyone wears, but like if there's a girl that always wears a mesh top over hers, like that's her thing.
That I've run into that in burlesque a little bit, but it's always kind of an unspoken awkwardness.
Yeah.
It tends to be more with songs in burlesque. If it's like, we live in the same town, we never perform in the same venue, and it's never on the same day, but just so you know, I did a number to Little Red Corvette by Prince. I need to not hear that you also did that. And if you do, like, no one's going to say anything, but it's going to be a little bit like, maybe, do you think she saw that number and that's why she decided to do it also? Like,
oh, that's interesting. Because we have there's a song thing is still a thing in strip clubs too, but it's only if you're both on the same night.
Yeah.
Oh. It's all just so that no one potentially is taking money out of your pocket.
Right.
It has nothing. And that's the same with the costume thing too, is that it's dark and men are stupid. And if they see two girls wearing a string bikini and they liked your stage set and we're going to buy a dance for you, and then the other string bikini girl walks up and he doesn't have the brains or is too drunk or whatever to tell the difference, like he might just buy a dance from the wrong girl and we'll never know, but we will be mad about it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Interesting. Yeah, that's very funny. Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, even like sometimes I don't know how many people that I know in real life listen to this, so I'm being very hesitant. But like there are certain colors that people get a little funny about.
Sure. Yeah. 1,000%.
Yeah.
Colors, lighting choices too. If you work at a club that allows the girls to pick their lighting, that's another thing too.
Interesting.
And you know, I never got attached to the song thing, for like stage sets and stuff. But I think because for me, I never mind. I just really want every girl to pick good music, because if it's on when you're not on, it means that you have to be giving private dances to it, and people pick, and you're not in control of that music.
That's worse.
Yeah. So like you're not in control of that music. So as long as girls are picking good music while you're not on, you just get to vibe and you have good music to groove to, and that's gonna like affect your money way more than a stage show. So yeah.
Well, unfortunately, in this brothel, it's just all hurdy-gurdy all the time.
It's just all hurdy-gurdy. It's just one hurdy-gurdy cranking away badly.
But really, what's the thing that you will fight the other sex workers if you see them wearing or doing?
Like coins and chains and stuff that chingles and changles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like stuff around my bustle that's always going.
Okay.
Yeah,
great.
That's what I'm going with.
All right, I love that.
I want to be very loud
jingly,
and noisy, and jingly.
Yeah. Is your name sort of connected to that? Like a really drunk guy comes in and he's like, I want jangles. Jangle, jangle.
I'll wait.
I'll wait for
I don't
jangle.
want to be with anybody but Jangles. That's what my name will be. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. It's perfect. Spot on. Can I just tell you this really
Yes, please.
completely unconnected story?
Yes.
You know that I went by Charlie
Yes.
in the majority of
Which
places.
I love. Yes.
Loved that. And I did choose it because it was an androgynous name and because I was performing femininity at the highest level that you could, and it made me feel better about that.
Yeah. I love that thing you just said. Continue.
But there was this one guy who never wanted a dance with me because his name was also Charlie.
Hilarious. Yes.
Hilarious. And we had a little shtick where when he would come in, he would say Charles, and I would say Charles, and we would clink glasses, and he would move on. But it was a very
I wish you had
charming
gotten
little-
married.
He was 60, so probably not.
Whatever.
But I just think it was a nice little
I love that. Yeah.
playful little little rapport we built up.
Oh, Charles, if you're listening,
Charles.
we hope you're well.
Yeah, I do hope you're well, Charles. Where
All
would
right.
you be? Would you be a pirate?
Well,
Or would
I
you-
haven't watched it, so it's hard to
it's hard to
say. There's an appeal for me in all three of the settings that you described. But, I think I'm going to go brothel too.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
can see you as a pirate, but maybe it's just because you have red hair and you remind me of the lady pirate on the
Cool.
show.
I'll take it. I think that there are times in my life that I'd like to say pirate, but right now brothel sounds good.
Yeah, yeah.
I like
Seems the most
I like
stable.
sort of financial somewhat independence in terms of being a woman at the time. It seems like maybe you're afforded like a little bit more.
Yeah.
Sass.
I mean, it definitely in accordance with how this show portrays it,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm sure it would depend on a lot of details, but the way you're describing it. And yeah, so I'm going to say brothel.
Great. Awesome.
And I'm going to be weird about other people having red hair.
Yes.
In fact, I'm going to be weird about a lot of things.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
other
gonna be
people being
weird.
Tall.
I'm going to be weird about, I almost just said, anyone being tall.
Yeah.
I'm going to be weird about anyone having red hair. I'm going to be weird about if I have an outfit I particularly like, I'm going to be weird about anything similar.
Yeah. I love that your first two things that you're going to be defensive over are things that are not under anyone's control.
Yeah.
Like, it's not
Yeah.
a choice.
I am defensive about those things in real life in burlesque.
I know.
And I have a problem.
I know. But you're getting through it. It's so good.
I am getting through it. Somebody in town who I have never performed with dyed their hair red, and I was weird about it. And I was embarrassed because I knew that that's so embarrassing, but I did. I felt it in my gut. I was like,
Hey, back off.
yeah.
Well, if you didn't really say anything and you just had
Oh,
the
no,
weird
no.
feeling-
It's just in my heart. No, I'm
Yeah,
not.
then
I'm not completely off the rails. But the fact that I feel it in my heart, I know is a problem.
I think you can't, you can't help that. Those feelings, they come and you just gotta acknowledge them.
But I think that I have a very nice, like, pale pink outfit.
In burlesque or in
In the brothel.
in fantasy brothel?
In the brothel.
Okay.
I think it's a pale pink. Which is not
Pale
very
pink.
me, but that's just what I'm seeing for myself.
I like that.
And I, no one else has
No
that.
one else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they do, something might happen to it.
I think I also want to be like the one that in addition to being loud and jangly,
Yeah.
I want to be the one that's like a little bit of a mess. Like I always want too much of my slip to be showing.
Okay.
And like other things that in that time period would be considered being messy. I just want to be like a little bit of a disaster.
I want to be super, super dommy, but in pale pink.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Perfect.
And like really, really shitty to customers.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
They like that.
Great.
There's also one thing I appreciate about the show is occasionally the workers in the brothel will mention like a fetishy thing that a man has paid for, and it's very much relatable to how at least in the strip club environment how we would talk and like come up with code words for and like names for weirdly specific things that
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
Can you tell me some?
There's one in particular that I'm thinking of that they mention, and they use it as like a gotcha to catch a sex worker who's stealing money from the business. And they say this one guy likes like just be like held, I think, while he like pretends to breastfeed or whatever for like an hour or whatever. And then they nicknamed it mothering. Even though it's probably just this one guy, they could.
I was gonna say, God, if that came up that often.
Yeah, but it is a thing that like you come up with nicknames for weirdly specific.
Well, I want one from your experience.
Oh my God. Okay.
And I don't want it to be mothering.
It's not. That's, you know what? The thing is like I've known like girls who would get requests like that and would do it even though you're not supposed to, because you know the rules don't matter, and stuff. But I think you know what is interesting is that I never got a lot of them. Like other girls did, but I was always a target for just girlfriend experience guys. I was just heavily targeted for that, which is great because I got to, you know, just pretend I was interested in yachts a lot.
I thought you were going to say Yahtzee.
No. Just like be like, I love hearing about
because to me like that's a girlfriend experience is like playing Yahtzee.
So there's nicknaming therapy when this is a real one. We used to call it therapy at one club. This is another thing too, where like there's never like pole hobbyism has sort of coined names for moves that never really would have names because each club environment has different, you know, names for all of the tricks that get invented. But the same applies to these sorts of things. So therapy in our club was when a guy would pay for his girlfriend to have a private dance with you. And you take her in because like she will always act like she's super, super into it, even through like the beginning of the session. And like clockwork, halfway through, she tells you her real feelings on this whole thing, and you have to do therapy. So you have to.
No.
Yeah. It's very, yeah. It's because like guys think that by buying her a dance, like he's making her feel better about being here or whatever, and it's just
fascinating.
Sense. Yeah, it's such a weird thing that it's happened so many times. Yeah. But therapy, I got that one a lot.
I find I've only been to strip clubs in Oregon. I never went in New York, and it's full nudity here.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that's different.
It is. The first place I worked was full. And can you drink in full?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, you can't in New York. So
Yeah.
the full had a different energy. The money
Yeah.
was way better.
I bet. I don't think the money's better here because they're all like that,
Right.
you know? So even like really divey ones are like that.
Yeah. Well, this was
Yeah.
that place was a dive.
Oh, all right. Fair.
It was definitely a dive. And it was just, it did have like, you had to like, because nobody would not drink. You just had to have sneaky energy. So the whole vibe of the place was sneaky.
Weird.
You
Yeah.
know, like everybody, like all of the customers had a flask in their pocket. Like all of the girls had a locker full of hidden booze. You know, like it just feels like prohibition-y. Like you have to, like,
well, that's
but like
fun.
you're naked, so like
Right.
it's at
Yeah.
odds with the prohibition vibe.
I just found it to be like boring.
It's a little bit, it's
And-
quiet.
It was quiet and boring, and I
Yes.
kind of felt like because like it was all out there, there was nothing fun or performative happening. It was really just like, here's my stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
And-
I'm dancing. It wasn't like ooh boob teasing. It was just like literally you came here for my vulva and here it is.
And here it is. And so one thing I didn't, I think we had a lot of fun with our performances. It was definitely, I think we did, but it was funny in that like customers would get mad if they felt like they were cheated out of time of full nudity. So like there was like a time limit. It was like, all right, you've got a 2-minute song, or you've got 2-minute songs in your set, but by the end of the first song, you have to be there.
Okay.
Other like and and it does feel like a little bit formulaic. You have to be like
Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
But it is, everybody's very quiet
Yeah.
because
I
it's
just thought
not
it
a
would be a
club
more like
environment.
I thought it would be like TV where it's just like very bass heavy, kind of like just like sexy.
Yeah,
Not like
the boozy clubs
Yeah, yeah.
were like that for me.
Yeah.
But this place was very quiet and very. But it was a dive.
Yeah,
So
fair.
you know,
Yeah, it's not like I went to the nicest ones. I've been to a few.
Also, I worked a lot of day shifts. I rarely work night shifts, and day shifts are very quiet and weird.
I would think so, yeah. And that's probably why I would imagine you get to know people because I feel like the people who are there, were there. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for femsplaining strip clubs.
You're welcome. I mean,
This is what I always just want to talk about.
I know, but I really watch Black Sails.
Oh, do an FMK, or unless you want to do it as a homework.
Oh yeah. Fuck, marry, kill. So I'm gonna give it to myself, and I will choose for myself also. The women of the island, which is Anne Bonny, Eleanor Guthrie, and Max. And that is, I will kill Eleanor Guthrie proudly, happily. Get the fuck out of here immediately. I will fuck Anne Bonny because as much as I really love her, I don't want to be a pirate, so I can't go with her. And I will marry Max because she will see us through everything. She's a survivor.
Whoa. All right.
I have very strong feelings about that. And fuck, marry, kill for the leading men of the show, which I will say is Captain Flint, Captain Jack Rackham, and Long John Silver. Got it. So I will marry Captain Jack Rackham because he's recently on the market, and he's been with a queer woman before.
I was
so
about to
feel
say
like-
that. Yes.
So I feel like
He's used
he
to
knows the
that
drill.
energy.
He's
Yes,
good.
he knows the drill.
Yeah. He's got. I will kill Long John Silver because he's manipulative and scummy, and I don't like his attitude. And
But how about those hush puppies?
yeah.
Hey.
Ew.
I love hush
And-
puppies.
And I will fuck Captain Flint if he wants to. It's unclear.
That's
if
nice of
he is
you.
Actually,
We always assume it's if they want to.
right, but it's okay. So one thing that
Oh,
I will
'cause he's
say
gay.
is that they never actually specify that he's gay, just that he's in love with
Oh.
this man, and he does have a relationship with this woman, and they do have intimacy.
Right.
It's never specified that he's exclusively
Got it.
homosexual. It is something that a lot of the fans of the show say is that it's a gay reveal and that he
Right.
you know.
Well, but also
gay,
bisexuality does not exist. So.
right, exactly. So it's always an important thing to remember.
Yes.
that we can't.
That's
have
your
five
first
people.
mistake, Diana. Yes.
Yeah. So for me, I do think it is possible. So I would
Sure.
leave that up to him, but he does have a nice quiet rage energy, and I think
He's
that
the
would-
gorilla guy?
No, that's Billy Bones, and I didn't
Oh.
put him in this equation
you're right.
because he's too silly.
Okay. Silly Billy.
I can't take him seriously at all. So yeah, so those
That
are
has
my,
never
my
stopped you.
I know. And yeah, those are the only fuck, marry, kills I can think of. What are you doing after this?
We're doing like house stuff.
That's fine.
Installing
That
our
stuff is
air
nice.
conditioner windows.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn on my air conditioner after
Fuck
this.
yeah. Nice.
And then I think I'm going to take Sam outside and have a cold drink out in the
So nice.
yard.
So
'Cause
good.
I thought it would be. I forgot that it's like summertime right now and it's
Yeah.
still light out. Yeah.
And you know what you can do outside?
What?
Nintendo Switch.
You can.
I love that personally.
Oh, I do love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's the vibe today. So
All right. Well, have fun. Thank you. This
Thank
was fun
you.
for me.
good. Me too. Go say hi to Robin and not
I will.
Francis.
Tell
Believe
Francis
me. Diana does not say hello.
I will. All right. Bye.
Bye. You can find all of our Femsplained content either on patreon.com/femsplained, Twitter, you can find us at femsplainedcast, Instagram, you can find us at Femsplained Podcast, and you can check out superdylan.com/femsplained to find the guest form and all of the different places where you can listen and connect with us.
Awesome. You can find and follow me, Avalon, at @A_catattack on both Twitter and Twitch.
And you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, and all the places at Super Dylan. And that is DILLIN.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your support. Bye.
Bye.